It's nice to see you again in this video. Now, after working on our previous lab, which was the SQL injection attack carrying the database type of the Oracle version, now in this video we are going to be working on this one, whereby we are to query out the version of our database, and that is the MySQL or our Microsoft. Now, to play along with me, all you have to do is to go on, create your account on Postwiga Academy, and you are going to access the labs. I'll be leaving the link in the description, whereby you'll be seeing the access to all of these labs. So all you have to do is to click on this lab and you'll be taken to a page like this. Now, when we read through, they say that this lab contains the SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter. You can use a union attack to retrieve the results from an injected query. To solve this lab, go on and display our version string. So all we have to do is to go on and tap on this lab. A new page is going to be redirected. All I'm going to do is first to come and turn off my Bob suite, and I'm going to just say reload. We are going to have access to our lab just like this. Now, in case you are new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe, give a thumbs up to also this video. Now, we already have our application. They told us that the category filter is the one that is vulnerable. I'm going to just tap on any of these and to test and see whether it is vulnerable. I'm going to just come towards the end of my application, and I'm going to just put a single quote and submit that. You see that right away we get an internal server error. Now, when you try to look up here, they say that make the database retrieve the string, and I guess this is the version that they want us to retrieve in the database. With our single quote inserted at the end of our category, we have an internal server error, which simply shows us that this is vulnerable to our SQL injection. So what I'm going to do is to just go back and load these gifs to our side. Then I'm going to intercept this with our Bob suite. When you try to see up there, my Bob suite was already started since it takes long to open up on my machine. All I'm going to do is to just come here and turn on my Bob, and I'm going to just come to my Bob suite. Make sure that you tap on proxy and click interceptor on or intercept on. So if we come back here to our browser, I can just click to any category here. This is going to be intercepted by our Bob suite, and I'm going to just tap on this, right click, and we can send it out to our repeater. So if we come to our repeater, this is where we can go on and inject our payloads. Once again, if I come back here and put a single quote and we come to send, you are going to see that we shall receive an internal server error. Now, after understanding that this is vulnerable, we need to do two things. One is to find how many columns are being called from our database. Second is to understand the data type of those columns. Now, here we are going to be using order by to understand the number of columns, and here I just use the hashtag. Simply you can just go on and say order by 1, and if we are to copy this and we come back to our Bob suite, all you have to do is to just come here, paste that. Don't forget to encode these, just highlight them and perform our, let me just remove this space here, just highlight that, and we are going to press Ctrl U to perform our URL encode. So if we send it that, let's see, we have a internal server error. Now, where could the problem be? Now, if we come back to our Obsidian, now our syntax is perfect, but when we are working with databases, we have multiple ways we can comment out our data. One is using the dash, another one is using our hashtag, and we can also use a /* our data and // this is a modline comment. Now let's go on and try with a hashtag. If we come towards the end here, going to just put a hashtag, copy that, come back to our Bob suite, and I'm going to provide that here with our Ctrl V. Again, we have to encode this with our Control U, and I'm going to submit that. So if I press on send, you see that we have our 200 OK, which means now the application only wasn't taking in the dash dash. Our hashtag was the one that was going to make this an easy way for us. So if we come here, we see that we have our 200 OK. Our order by one has a status code of 200. So if we come here, I'm going to change that to 2, and I'm going to submit that. So again, we have our 200, which is perfect, which means so far now we have 2 columns. What if I change that to a 3? And if I submit that, let's see, we have an internal server error. Just to be sure, let me turn that to a 4 and again submit that. Let's see, again we have our internal server error. Now this tells us that we have 2 columns. Since 1 and 2 we received a 200 status code. Now here we have 2 columns that we've identified. Now we need to go on and understand the data type. So if we come here to understand our data type, this is where we are going to use our union attack. Simply it's going to just be our union select. Now this time we don't need to provide where the information is going to be got from, like what we did in our Oracle lab. So all we have to do is to say union select. What do we need to provide? Going to just provide the A, then comma, then provide another string. Since we are not going to use a dash dash, this is where we're going to press our hashtag. So I'm going to just highlight that, Ctrl C, come back here to my BAP suite, and let's go on and remove these 2 gifs. So if I press enter, this is how it is going to be. So if I paste that there, and I'm going to just come and perform our URL encode with a Ctrl U. So I'm going to submit that in case we receive a 200 OK. Now here we have a 404. Where did I mess up? I can come back here to gifs. Perhaps let me do Ctrl Z. If we come back here to gifs, I'm going to just put quote, paste my command again, going to put a space, and I'm going to just come delete that. We can highlight this again with our Ctrl U. Let me send that, and we have our 200 OK. So if we scroll down, we have to see our AA that has to be displayed in the application. So if we move down, we have our AA, so which means the tables that we do have within this application all have our string values. So after understanding that this has string values, now we can proceed to dumping out the database version. So let's come back here to our application. If we come here, but first let me just come and turn off this interceptor. And if we come to our application, I'm going to just come here to the int and send this to another tab. So if we are to find the version in our Oracle, again I need to go on and turn off my BAP, come back here and refresh. So we need to understand how can we call out the version in our MySQL and also the Microsoft. This is where we can read through this cheat sheet and we see how we can do that. So if we come here to our Microsoft, it is just select and this, and with our MySQL it is again this. So this is where we can come back to our Obsidian. So to get our version, all we have to do is to just say our union select, and this time we are going to get our version. Now let's come back this side, it is just the add. I can just come and copy this, come back here, we can paste that. Now since we have two columns, I can just make the other one to take in a null value, and we can provide our hashtag. So if I come and copy this, let's come back here to our Burp Suite with our repeater. So we can just remove this and we paste there our payload and see whether we can get the version. So if I paste my payload, all I have to do is to come highlight that, Ctrl U for our URL encode, and let's do send. So again we have our 200 OK status code, and if we come down here we need to see the version of our database. So again we have this, and let's see if the information is displayed, and this is the version of our database. So if we come back this side to our lab, and if we refresh our lab, they say that it is solved. Once again, in case you are interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe, give a thumbs up to this video as a simplest way of supporting me and my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.